Alrighty, let's see. Perfect. Alrighty. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another My Story. This is the 21st episode of My Story. That's amazing. And today, as usual, we're going to interview some of our awesome achievers, our leaders, and the top of the top to figure out how they got to the pursuit of success that they had and how they reached the top. Welcome none other than our international and the director of Iqi Dubai, Omer Ali Khan. Welcome to the show, Omer.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be on board.
Very happy to have you today, Omer. It's good to see you after so long. It's been not only the MCO time, but also since the last time I've seen you. It's good to see you and good to have you here. How are things in Dubai?
They're good. They're moving along. In fact, it's nice to see you digitally after almost 5 to 6 months. We missed out to catch up the last time.
Indeed.
I came to know that you're recovering well. I'm actually glad, and I pray for your quick recovery.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Well,
Dubai is good, man. Dubai is doing good. It's managing the pandemic pretty nicely and very, very responsibly. Hopefully, things should be getting better sooner than later.
Perfect. Perfect. That's very good. So with a good note on that one, let's move on to our awesome interview with Omar. Omar, as usual, we ask something personal about our dear interview and we get to know them in a more personal way so that our audience can see a different side of Omar as well. Do tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, on a personal level, what I'd say is maybe I'm married with kids who love bossing me around.
Yeah, we talked about that just now.
So I'm not the boss in any sense of the word at home. But in all seriousness, well, how should I put it? Okay, something I know maybe you and I would relate again. I was a very big movie buff.
Oh, yeah.
But after this onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic, I almost actually have stopped watching TV. And why is that? Because I realize now that time is literally of the essence. And
so
every human being owes it to themselves and their creator to improve themselves and to evolve into becoming better human beings. So basically, I focus all my spare time now on this particular avenue. From the work experience front, I guess very quickly in a nutshell, I managed to get about approximately 20 years working experience so far.
Perfect.
Which comprises of basically 3 core professions.
Yeah.
I've got about almost 10 years banking experience.
Wow.
And about another 3 years of international trade. And then all the remaining is basically real estate.
Amazing.
Now, my philosophy throughout all this, I know it sounds, I don't know, small or long, but 20 years is touch with, hopefully moving along nicely. But in all of these, all of this time, basically, my philosophy simply has been that profits ultimately are our goal when we get into business or when we do some things. But without customer satisfaction,
very true.
Profit will always suffer.
Exactly.
So I always try to imply a great importance onto customer service, basically.
That's very true, actually. Like, and wow, that is a really, really awesome background, Omar. And also, like, that's very true because, like, in IQI also, we have a very, very, very we give huge importance to the customer and the client because we even have our own very own internal IMS record so that we keep record of the testimonials and everything that our customers tend to give our agents to make sure that the agents are doing very well and that the customers are always happy as well. So that's perfect. It's a good philosophy to go by.
All right.
So basically my
go ahead.
So my second question would be, Omar, how did you find out about IQI itself and how did IQI Dubai get its start? Tell us about the early days of the journey.
Well, I knew, I've known Mr. Kashif Ansari from beforehand
Hi, Kasha.
in the UAE. In fact, we got to meet and interact more regularly once I entered the real estate industry. He's been in it a lot more before me. He's much more experienced than me, obviously. You can tell. IQI Dubai was operational at that time. Basically, what happened was one day, uh, after our subsequent meetings, one day, basically, he said to me, "Let's build on our relationship together by working on one platform." And I just hopped onto that offer. I think it's been now almost 4.5 years, but it
Wow.
doesn't really feel like that. It's something which was predestined to happen, I guess, because there was a lot of similarities in the way his vision was about work and the way I was trying to put up
That's
myself in terms of working. It's gelled well,
yeah.
and I think the platform that is available through IQI Dubai is basically the division that Kashif is taking forward. And I'm just trying from my side to basically take the baby steps, if I may say,
Sure.
and make sure that the practicality of it is implied and people can benefit from what we have to offer together.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I can't wait to be in Dubai one time and to see that in up close and personal for sure. So if you're joining us right now, joining this awesome session with Omar, our director at IQI Dubai, be sure to put a number 5 in the comment section so that we know that you're watching, and a high five to you if you did that. So, so the third question, Omar, would kind of be, following up on the second one. What brought you to have this interest in real estate? What grew that interest in you to join real estate in this industry?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, how should I put it? Okay, very easily putting it. You know of Shan Saeed, right? Our chief economist.
Of course, of course.
Okay, I'll just quote one of
100%.
his phrases that he told me. In fact, it's pretty much relevant even now. That real estate is the new global currency.
That's so true. Yes. I
Now, keeping
remember
that,
that.
you remember that. It takes a while to actually figure out what he's trying to imply and put across, but keeping that what he said in my mind, on a personal front, basically I literally felt after almost 10 years plus of working around that this industry is like no other industry around the world.
That's very
I mean,
true.
where else can you actually earn in one single transaction what probably other people may take years to achieve income
Exactly.
wise?
Exactly. That's so true.
Obviously, my utmost respect to them who work daily 9 to 5 and who put in a lot of blood and sweat and heart, put in a lot of man hours into doing their works.
100%.
Real estate is not at all a bed of roses.
Yes.
It's also not everyone's cup of tea,
Yeah.
but the freedom that you can exercise while you're working for yourself or for with a group of people who have the same goal as you is extremely satisfying. It's
That's very true.
something, I guess, if you're able to find the correct team of people, if you're able to find the correct platform for yourself, I would say professionally you would be blessed. So real estate for me basically is that currency which is applicable today. It will be applicable in the future, and I thought I'd well keep myself relevant by being in an industry where things are happening and I can get my contribution done and hopefully leave my mark.
That's true. That's so true. And like, I agree with you. Real estate is an industry that's continuously not only growing in terms of like how it is, but also in terms of tech wise. And it's very important to like, stay onto a platform that allows you to like, venture into the real estate industry with a more full arsenal. So that's very true. And And biggest respect to everyone that works in that 9 to 5, as you said, but real estate is also it also takes its own effort to, do what we do. And, it's definitely not a bed of roses, but it can become.
Well, the bed of roses will come with its own set of thorns. So as long as
Yes,
you're ready for that,
exactly.
it's okay. We'll use the same metaphor. It's a garden that you will actually cultivate one by one, seed by seed.
Correct.
And if you can actually move into learning the knowledge, practicing it properly, and knowing how to get your placements in that garden, meaning whether it's off plan or secondary sales or project sales and so on, you can build up a very nice, beautiful garden for yourself, hopefully to retire sooner than others.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. You can make your own bed of roses.
Absolutely, yes.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So, Omar, in the early stages, did you see IQI expanding so much around the world? Like we have IQI now in many, many different countries, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, in Australia, Canada, Dubai, everywhere. So did you see this kind of like exponential growth? And what do you think is the benefit of having such a international platform and being able to, like, touch into other real estate industries in different other countries, as well?
Okay, that's a pretty relevant question, even especially in today's times. Well, in the earlier days of IQI, if I saw the company expanding so vastly, no, honestly, I didn't think it will be catching on so fast and then moving and spreading out so aggressively and so positively. Um, my take on that is basically, I think connectivity is the key.
That's very true.
And that is one thing which the board at the IQI Global Board has managed to not only, I would say, how could I put it? They've not only managed to take that vision and that connectivity to every new country that they go to, and
Yeah,
then they follow up with it in with such amount of single-mindedness. This is what I remember Kashif had shared the idea with me, and the way he has, I would probably say, single-handedly driven this idea into a practical aspect. The growth trajectory so far to me is simply astounding. I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of companies come up very fast in the real estate line, and but they have somehow stagnated one way or the other. Touchwood, IQI so far has been, I would say, been very, very pragmatic. They know how to, we know how to take care of our agents. We know how to take care of our clients
that's
during disruptive times such as these. And I think this is one of the other reasons why we have managed to not only get a lot of goodwill from people all across. And then, can you hear me, Dante?
Oh yes, 100%. I can hear
I'm
you.
seeing some message popping up that my speaker is not working. So I just thought I'll check.
Oh really?
Anyway, so the idea essentially is that yes, connectivity is the key here.
Yes.
And if these two factors, the way they are being exercised and implemented,
Hmm.
the sky's the limit, man. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the
true.
way the board.
I love the fact that our board is always like looking into visualizing a bigger future. So it's like they're not afraid to dream and like actually work
Oh,
hard to making that happen. And that's so true. Like, they always have these amazing dreams. And like for some people, sometimes they think like, oh, that's impossible. But look, they're making it happen. You know?
the dream bit, it's like you dream with your eyes open pragmatically. So you know the
Exactly.
reality on ground, and then you keep your vision onto it and your dream, and then you move forward collectively. Take everybody along with you with
Exactly.
your eyes open, obviously. So you're not, you know what you're getting into and you know how to achieve it.
That's beautifully said. I totally agree with you, Omar. Now, Omar, I wanted to because humanize everything and try to talk about obstacles, because the obstacles are something in life that we all tend to face.
Yeah.
So in our instances that we have a lot of different things to deal with in our life. What is some of the obstacles that you've had in your journey in this time that you had in the real estate industry? What is the obstacles that you have faced, and how do you overcome those obstacles?
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, obstacles, I guess, is um, it, let's just phrase it, if I may, struggles, right?
Yes.
So essentially, I guess life is the process of struggle. I mean, from the time you're a baby, you learn how to crawl and then walk and then so on and so on and so on. Like I said, initially evolve.
Yeah.
It's essentially a struggle that you are taking part in.
Exactly.
So with my particular journey, I guess it's not been just like a lot of other people. They've gone through a lot of upheavals. A lot of epiphanies have come through. People have learned from them. I'll give you a small story, if I may, very quickly.
Of course.
It's, it's related
This
to
is
real
your
estate.
story, so please do.
You caught me on that. Good one.
No worries.
All right. Well, see, if I remember what happened was, this was during the initial phases of my real estate journey when I started, and we were working on a project at that time where we were supposed to be selling projects, or let's say townhouses, and they were not cheap. They were expensive units which were getting sold, and I was making my efforts, reaching out to people, and doing whatever I needed to do to get the business done.
Exactly.
And quickly, like I said, managed to come across to a particular client, and I sold him uh, 5 units together.
Correct.
Let's say one unit is roughly about close to about $2 million.
Okay.
Uh,
That's a
so,
big sale.
yeah, so that was 5 units, all sold off like that. I picked up the
Wow.
checks. I'm like, numero uno, that's moi.
Yes.
But the struggling bit was, I mean, this is how life gives you its taste, that you should never be getting carried away, I guess.
Again.
The client handed across the checks. Then they had, how should I put it? They had a doubt. They were not too sure.
Yeah.
And then they asked me to hold the checks, and then they asked me to cancel all 5 units.
Ouch.
So I said, fine, no problem. As long as I don't get a heart attack, I'll come back to you.
Wow.
Now, we gave it a couple of days, and then I went back to the gentleman, sat down with them, with the entire family, actually. And it took me, I handed across all the checks back as an act of good faith, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, long story short, almost about 6 days of discussions, counter discussions, still in the end managed to get them to agree happily to book 2 units with me.
Well done. Well done.
So the idea was that, yes, the struggling bit was that at one point it was an absolute amount of despair, from being so high happy to absolutely falling onto the ground, face flat.
Yeah.
And then I thought that, look, I believe what I told the client was true, and in the quality of the project or in the quality of my services. So as long as I can take this challenge, or I can take this struggle head on, and then try and understand what is the reason why they are not feeling that comfortable, converse with them and so on, and then hopefully move forward successfully for them and for me.
That's very true. That's very true.
So what you were basically putting across is, it's like I said, it's you will be getting these sort of challenges and struggles again and again in all forms of life. In fact, after taking up the banner for Iqi Dubai, which it has not been an easy ride, but again, like I said, I'm very thankful to Kashif and to the rest of the board, who are always there to either cajole me or guide me, or assist me, and then send me people like yourself who teach me, give me tips on how to do so many other things. Which again,
No.
it's a struggle because I'm not used
But you're
to
doing
all of
so
this
well.
electronic media. But
You're doing so well now, so that's perfect. That's really
yeah,
good.
because I'm being trained well. I'm being trained well. So, but in a sense, it is a struggle for me at least, you know. So
Yeah,
it's a part of life. You just keep your head up high. You keep your head up high, and you move forward. Enjoy the life.
that's
Enjoy
true.
the
As
ride.
we say, exactly. Enjoy life in
Yeah,
IQI.
that's the one.
So, but I totally agree with you because the obstacles that you just mentioned are something that our agents deal on a daily basis with, like, and to have that feeling like, oh my God, I just sold like this much, and then being tipped down and to like, feeling that rejection. And sometimes it's a bad tipping down. So, but at the same time, to find that factor, and what IQI does is actually get you ready for these moments as well,
Yes.
for like, our agents and stuff. And so, like, when you get to that point, you start picking up and not fall fully into the ground, and you just pick and fly away instead of like, being worried and letting the negativity bring you down. That's a very beautiful story about, obstacles and overcoming them.
It's the same thing what Daniel always keeps saying. IQI warriors, the warrior mentality.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
it comes from the same background that professionally or personally, even if it's a challenge of getting up in the morning, making a coffee and screwing it up and then making it again.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
you have to have that will to preserve and move forward. I mean, it's beautifully shown by each and every one of the directors, by the vice presidents, everybody in our team. We have that mentality. It's
Exactly.
inbuilt now, and this is one of the reasons, touchwood, why we are still moving forward and we're moving strong.
Very true, very true. Like warriors that we are, our weapon, the sword that we have, we're like, sharpening it every day with our skills, with our, things that we know in life, and then it gets us closer to our journey and success. That's a good takeaway from it, guys. So remember that. And if you're still joining in with us, and if you're joining in now, remember that you can watch the full video very soon after this ends. But stay tuned with us because we're going to go through a lot of fun stuff. And also put in the comment section, Dubai rocks. All right. So now the next question that I want to ask you, Omar, is that IQI offers all these like awesome supportive platforms, whether it's the Atlas or any of the supportive platforms that it offers in terms of tech and so on. What are some of the ones that helped you motivate and accelerate the growth of the team and warriors in Dubai or around the world?
Would you just say I missed your question a bit in between? Sorry.
No worries at all. So basically, what I mean is that what are some of these supportive elements, like for example, Atlas and some of the tech platforms that IQI has
Sure.
offered, that helps the warriors, and motivating them? Which are the ones that have helped a lot in your journey in IQI?
Well, you've named them pretty well already. These are all or some of the salient features that we have managed to
Yes.
build up, and obviously we have a lot of success stories of agents everywhere who vouch for it. For me personally, I think I guess two things. It doesn't have to be, like I said, technical, but it's essentially two things which I think which our platform offers, and the way it offers this is unmatched. The first one, I guess, is quick commission, high commissions.
Oh yes, yes, that's very true.
Because see, at the end of the day, everybody, all the agents are working for financial freedom, financial benefits,
Exactly.
and the way IQI has set up is system that whenever the transactions are done, the commissions are paid out pretty much instantaneously. And this is, I'm not mentioning all the other benefits and competitions and everything else that we keep seeing all our wonderful team members enjoying.
Exactly.
I think along with that, something which comes in tandem with this is your how could I put it? Okay, the sense of ownership
Yes.
that IQI allows every one of the team members,
Yeah.
whether you're an admin staff, whether you are an IT personnel, whether you're somebody who is taking care of all the social media, like the person across from you on the screen, and or the wonderful agents, the housewives who are sitting there in Kuala Lumpur, who are sitting there in Abu Dhabi, or maybe people who are at that stage of life who, like I said, they've been working in one particular profession for a long time,
Correct.
and all of a sudden they decided that maybe this is not getting them anywhere. So they want to come across and join up a company. And that's when they see that IQI is a division which is global. It is giving you such a nice array of benefits online. So you feel that you want to be a part of it. It is a part of you, this culture, the team. So this sense of ownership, once it starts building up, you don't really want to let go. You actually want to make it grow along
That's so
with
true.
you.
That's so
So
true.
for me, these two factors, very
These are
simply, along with
incredible.
all the other wonderful things that we do, they can't be denied. But these two main factors for me, they play a big role.
That's very true. No, I totally agree with you. I think the fast commission that's produced by our huge team of finance team that we have, and Shahid, shout out to you. You know, it's very, very true because all these team members are working super fast to make sure every commission around the world is paid on time. And when I mean on time, super fast. You know, within less than 7 days, you'll get the commission. So that's a big, big point. And
Yes.
also the culture, the IQI culture, the factor that we all support each other, like Daniel says, you will never walk alone. And also it keeps continuously growing you and growing you and growing you and giving new skills to even myself sitting here, you know, to find and, you know, nurture new things in our lives. You know, that's very true. Like IQI's culture is one of the, you know, best ones that I've, you know, had so far. So Omar,
True.
we've talked about IQI, and now we wanted to, like, you know, get into the eyes of a director, let's say. We want to know what are what are the responsibilities of you as the director of Dubai, IQI Dubai. What are some of the responsibilities that you have to the team?
Well, I think it's pretty much similar to, I guess, any person, like you said, with the eyes. So I'll put on my glasses and show you I'm going through. No, apart from the joking bit, it's well, see, it's a massive responsibility because not only do or we take care of sales primarily. We take care of sales which are happening within the city of Dubai.
Yeah,
Along with that, I am overseeing projects and the sales which are inbound. I try and coordinate with the other directors in all the other countries for the projects that they have up available for sale, because the beauty of Dubai is very, very cosmopolitan.
that's very true. Yeah,
So what happens in Dubai is there is a lot of clientele which are at different points of time looking maybe to invest in Canada, maybe Australia, maybe Vietnam, and Malaysia for sure. We've already had a good number of success stories of people investing in Malaysia.
perfect.
So the idea is obviously to keep that engine rolling, keep that engine hot, and ensuring that the organization is following the local laws and regulation. But at the same time, I liaise with the management at the main office. We come across with different projects, their promotions. All in all, basically just an extension of the things that we are doing primarily in the head office.
Correct.
Those should be communicated clearly to all the people, the agents over here in Dubai,
Of course.
and keep business rolling as smoothly as possible.
And you are keeping the steam hot. That is very true. It's as hot as the Dubai sun, and it's keep getting hotter. So, like, kudos to
We are
you.
almost touching 42 degrees now. We are almost touching 42 degrees.
That's
That's
fine.
how
The
hot we
engine's
are.
really hot. Exactly. The Dubai team is hot as the Dubai sun. That's what we're gonna go for. So if you're listening to us right now, make sure that you mention the Dubai sun in the comment section because we're hot and getting hotter as well. So as we have as we have the situation right now, we also mentioned the crisis at the beginning of the show, which you said that Dubai is doing much better at the moment, and we're super happy to hear that. Malaysia as well. um, I wanted to ask you, because this crisis derailed a lot of people, and there are people that are just getting out of graduating, or there's people that are leaving jobs or being retrenched or something like that, and they want to join in the real estate industry, but they're afraid for the factor that they think just because they don't know about real estate they can't join. But that's not the case. So what do you have to say to these people who want to join but are half-hearted into willing to join and jump the ship?
Well, a philosophical answer will be you live only once, so enjoy life.
YOLO.
Well, see, because it's a very diverse question. There are a lot of factors which will factor in for anybody to make a career choice or make a career change at a certain aspect of their lives.
Mhm.
But like I said, taking a step back and not getting into too much nitty gritty. If obviously, like I said initially, the main reason why I took this call, I was extremely well placed at a very, if I may say so, respectable and senior banking fraternity. I just realized that if I need to try to take some control of my professional life and maybe try to, if I may say, retire early.
Yeah.
Which I know is not going to happen. Kashif is not going to let me retire. But anyway, that's what I thought at that time.
Pushing for retirement soon.
No, see, it's like real estate is the perfect vehicle for you to test out your potentials.
That's true.
It's a safe. Again, I'm not getting into a comparison mode saying this is better. But for me personally, if you want me to equate real estate with maybe stock bonds or commodities and anything else, again, I have utmost of respect. I don't understand all that jargon, to be honest.
True.
Real estate is something which is very, very simple, which is extremely tangible. And once you have a little bit of operating knowledge on it, it's all you need is consistency and hard work and focus. That will ensure that whichever project, whichever type of work that you started to take on, it will help you sail through and grow. Exactly. And once you're successful at it, automatically the financial benefits that come along with it will obviously go an extremely long way in easing your burdens and hopefully making you more secure.
Exactly. And in comparison to a lot of different markets in terms of whether it's oil right now, holy, oil, or any other currency and bonds at the moment. Yes, the bonds are really cheap right now, but at the same time, you are still risking a factor of purchasing, or any other instance. For example, if you get into bonds, there's a high risk. For the real estate, there's always a stability, and it's tangible, and you can actually work in it, and you can actually own a house at the same time. What you're buying, you can call a home. You can't live in a bond. That's one of the most important parts.
That's very, very well said. There's a very common saying about real estate or land in particular. They're not making any more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So sooner or later, the way you see it in Kuala Lumpur, or the way you're seeing it maybe in some areas of even Canada. I saw it in Vietnam when I was there a couple of months back. There's a lot of reclaimed land which is coming in, getting reprocessed and getting rebuilt.
Yeah.
Essentially because of a number of factors. Obviously, land is expensive; it's getting more expensive. Connectivity is an issue. Affordability also gets to be factored in. So, like I said, it's a wonderful industry. Once you understand the dynamics of it, You can put in a lot of input in trying to relate that information, share it with clients, give them the benefit of being able to invest intelligently. And once they get the benefit, you get endorsed, and you will obviously not only feel nice that you help somebody with their investments, make them help their portfolio to grow.
Yes.
It's overall a plus factor. You personally
It
feel
is.
better because you've been benefited.
Yeah.
You've got a good organization which is obviously creating these venues for you globally, not just in one city or in one country.
Exactly.
So people who are, I guess, looking to find a new avenue for themselves, make a difference for themselves, it is not going to be easy. I'll say that up front. But if there is at all a possibility that you want to start something on your own, in my humble opinion, maybe I think joining up with IQI may be the best decision you can take.
I totally agree with you as well, because like one of the most important parts, and I see this in a very real factor when I see the agents in Terrific Tuesdays before and stuff, and you can really see that IQI agents care about the client, because like we are continuously, in the trainings and the coaching and everything, showing how important a happy client is, because in a lot of the markets people tend to be me first, then the rest. But in our segment is that we tell you that your clients will always be there. Treat them like even family members. If you should check on them, see how they're doing, because they're investing big on real estate. So you're making their dream come true. A house isn't a small thing. You're basically making someone's dream come true. Now, well, so
Dante, before you said something very nice, I'll just add that me first policy
yeah.
that you said is extremely short-lived.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't agree with you
You
more.
do that me first policy, maybe you should start looking for a career after 12 months.
That's so true. I couldn't agree with you more on that. And the beautiful part of IQI is that even wherever in the world you are, every aspect of training and whatsoever that it may be are events. You can jump over to the country and join the event with registrations. You can look up all the events and courses online in the IQI Academy. So you have so much leverage and a great platform with so many supportive people to actually join and do well in the country that you're in. Doesn't matter where you are. IQI is always there with you. So just to jump in and see what questions we have. If anybody of our audience has any questions before we jump into the next question, please do put them down. I'll be asking Omar soon. But our next and final question to you, Omar, from my side, let's see what they have to say, is who are you most grateful for? It's not something like just in IQI related, but just general and IQI as well.
Okay. Who should I be thankful to, I guess, basically?
Yes, basically, thankful for the journey that you've had so far and where you are now.
Well, at the risk of making this sound like an Oscar speech, but I guess I can afford to say that a little bit. See,
we
without a
have
doubt,
those small, statues that you can hold and do the.
No. See, first and foremost, without a doubt, is the Almighty for all blessings now and in the future.
Yeah.
Along with that, my immediate family for always having their belief in me whenever I made all of these wild decisions in my life. And then my actual family, which is, I guess, headed by Kashif Ansari, for being so inspirational in helping me scale new heights in this industry, which I thought probably I could not even do on my own. And then obviously Shahid, Daniel, Sheila for their positivity, their compassion, Nabil for his baby step strategies. I can go on and on. I mean, George, Yusuf, Anne, Anthony, Lily, Somsak, Norid, so many people, all of this wonderful family and team who have been extremely supportive. And in fact, even a big thank you to you for your
Thank
energy,
you.
your passion for work. I'm happy
Thank
I
you
get to
so
learn even from you today. So
Thank
I'm
you.
just grateful. I'm grateful to everybody who's been a part of my learning experience till date. Hopefully in the future as well. I mean, every single person contributes something uh, which I cherish and which I will obviously use in a positive way.
Perfect.
So, just a heartfelt thank you to everybody who supports, and we collectively try to do better things.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I think that is the sweetest gratification ever. So, Omar, I don't see any comments. I think we've actually mentioned everything. They're just sending their loves to you.
Oh,
And and also one last question. I did
of course.
mention uh, if you had one word that would describe you in that just that one word that could describe you, what would that word be?
Oh boy. Okay, adjectively, one word, if you want to put across, I think it should be um, adaptive. Be ready to adapt. It's like I'm sure a lot of people they know about Bruce Lee,
Yes.
and one of his famous quotes is "Be the water, be
Yeah.
the water, become the water." So my simple terminology is be adaptive. You have to develop that understanding and skill set that whenever you are placed in a situation, professionally, personally, wherever, at whatever stage of life,
True.
you need to process that information being given to you and then adapt and proceed accordingly. Don't be
Exactly.
rigid.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. That is amazing. Actually, adaptive is a beautiful word because we do that very much in IQI and we try to expand out of the box because that's something that, a lot of people have a comfort zone, a lot of people have a box. And
True.
that little thing is just like, it shows you like it has comfort for you, but it's actually not there. If you expand out and then you break that box and come out and venture into new things and new ideas and new learning, you can grow so much more. Just like how a little plant inside of a box can never grow unless it's breaking out and have the sun and have the water. That's you. So that's very true. Adaptism is
One thing I just remember what you just said is pretty fantastic from because of that comfort box that we keep discussing.
yeah,
It's extremely it's very closely related to another another word, if I may say, it's called motivation. They go hand in hand. If you want
yes,
to be out of your comfort zone, you need to have that motivation within you.
exactly.
And motivation actually comes in all shapes and sizes, and it is only limited by your own imagination.
So true. So
So
very, very true.
my if you'll allow me, my parting shot will be to all and sundry is that uh, the comfort zone that you very rightly said, it comes along with the motivation, and motivation can be as simple as setting up your alarm maybe a few minutes early in the morning so you can swing by the coffee shop at work, or order up your favorite concoction.
Exactly.
So it's the career trajectory from any individual from, let's say, junior high all the way on to where they want to be, where they can go and retire in a tiny tropical island in the middle of the Caribbean or the Bahamas.
That's
You
true.
need to keep on working on that motivational factor day in, day out, day in, day out.
Exactly.
Even like you said to me, you're working from home, and I know the amount of self motivation you're driving from yourself in order to keep on producing result talking. So it's the same thing which applies to everybody. That's about it, I guess. You have to keep on kicking yourself, keep motivating yourself.
So true, so true. Honestly, like I think the best motivator is ourselves. We do reach and out and get motivation from everything around us, the elements. But if
Yeah,
we don't have the drive to take the first step, that's nothing's going to happen. No, nothing in the world can push you front unless you allow it to push you front. And I think IQI does it so well. It gives you a huge support behind you like a huge pillar, and the only thing you need to do is just take the first step, do your first call, do your first talk, and you are in for a journey of success. Well,
Correct.
perfect. So this session was amazing, Omer. I thank you very much for joining us on My Story. It was so good to have you. So easy to talk to you as well. We have great chemistry, I should say that. Yeah. And also to our audience, thanks you so much for tuning in for another awesome session. This is the 21st episode of My Story. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, put a like down there and make sure to put number 5, because that's a high five for me and Omer. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you all.